back at center, worked at guard the last couple of years, but back at center since the spring, and seemed to kind of solidify your spot there. I mean, how's that feel?
Oh, it's amazing. It's a little bit more on your plate at center than at guard because you got to make calls. Get everybody in the right position. But it's really fun playing in there on the interior of the offensive line. So I'm enjoying it.
Ran it too in 2020. I mean, how much different do you feel this year than you did your first year playing at the state?
I would say my first year, there was definitely a lot of nerves involved. I wasn't very sure of myself as a player quite yet because I was still pretty young. But now I feel like I've had a few years to develop and get some confidence within myself. So I think it's a lot better now.
The difference is you develop now, but now you're changing offenses here at the end of your career. Do you welcome this move?
Oh, absolutely, I do. I love the running game. I love the system that Coach Barbe has brought in. I think it can bring a lot to our team.
Oh, we saw a lot of guys shuffling around on the offensive line in the spring. It seemed like that's kind of continued early in camp, just trying to find the best combination, I guess. How much is that drive competition at each spot?
Oh, it's great. Coach Friend, Coach Arnett, they preach competition every day. Nobody's position is solidified. Everybody's in a battle every single day, and I think that really, brings the best out of everybody.
What do you think of the running backs? I mean, Woody, Simeon, how have those guys kind of played behind you so far? What's your confidence level in them?
I think it's a full stable, man. I think they're really great. I think they're downhill. I think they can be shifty guys too if they have to. I think they all run the ball really hard, so I think they can all bring a lot to the offense.
Do you and Steven ever argue about who's the better center, who's the better guard?
Not really. I think Steven would rather play guard anyway, so no, that's not really a thing.
How much just going off of that, how much benefit is that versatility where some guys like you and Steven are able to flip flop or be able to go in different positions?
Oh, it's great, because we can walk up to the line and me and Steven can look at each other. We can talk about the defense, talk about the calls, and let everybody know what's going on, let everybody know where to go. So it's great having him beside me. Another guy that's got that center mind. So it's really great.
Cam said yesterday he's not going to miss being in pass pro 80 times a game and kind of ready to smash something and go forward on the offensive line. You kind of share those thoughts?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's every offensive lineman's dream to get to run the ball down somebody's throat. So we're really looking forward to it up front.
People made a big deal this offseason about Will not taking a snap from center since maybe junior high. When's the last time you gave a snap to a quarterback under center?
Probably since I was at LSU my freshman year. It's been a while.
Y'all did practice the other day, though. Will was taking some center snaps.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He'll get under there in some formation. So, yeah.
What's it been like working with Coach Friend the last few months?
Oh, it's been great. I think Coach Friend is a great developmental coach, and I think he's a great coach at getting the best out of everybody, pushing everybody to their limit, and really pushing every single guy to be a better player every day.
These couple days of camp in for you.
It's been a little tough, It's hot outside and everybody, had to run around and stuff. I feel like we all been doing a great job of, getting in condition and, just, being able to be physical and stuff. So for me, it's really going good.
How much progress do you think you've seen over these first 4 days with this team from when y'all first came out here to now?
I feel like we got a lot of progress because everybody's just coming together. The young guys are trying to step up and do different things, and new people just showing what they can do here. And I just feel like everybody doing their part and doing a great job.
We got getting our first look at Eric Taylor, and you've been able to see him a lot more than we have in practice.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of your first impressions of him, and looks like he's versatile enough to play both inside spots.
Yeah, he's been doing a real great job. He's getting along and learning the playbook, and I feel like being able to coach him up and help him with everything that I already know, I feel like he'll be in a great position to help the defense this year.
How much does it help knowing he had been in an SEC program before and kind of isn't culture shock when it comes to that aspect?
I feel like it helps a lot because he already know everything that's going to be going on, and he know how everybody play. So it's great to have somebody that just bring another skill, or like if he learned something else from somebody, then it's great for him to teach us those things. Like we teach him things too.
After missing spring with him, what's it like to be back standing beside Nate Pickering?
Yeah, it's a great feeling because just like I was out for the last spring. I was hurt the whole time. It hurt me physically and emotionally because I just wanted to be out there with the guys, and I just feel like everything going great right now, and just gonna keep praying that everything's keep going good.
You've gone against the air raid offense the last 3 years, and that offensive line kind of getting back on their heels to pass block. How different is that attacking them in practice now?
I feel like I mean, some of the things it feel the same, but as well as they're doing a lot of different things now. I mean, it gives me a better feel of what other people do as well that I see in the game. So I just feel like it's making me better as a player.
Leading off that, can you see a difference in the offense, particularly the offensive line? They were talking about they love run blocking now. Can you see that?
Yeah, I do, because they put it all into run blocking now, and I'm making them better, they're making me better, so we gotta just gonna have a win-win.
How close are you all kind of as a D-line?
We're very close. Like we talk out of football, in football. We help each other with everything. It's really just a brotherhood, and I'll keep each other going forward.
We've seen you play beside Dinkins some at nose guard, and I know he's a young guy, but he's a pretty strong guy.
Yeah, very strong.
What have you seen when you've been beside him?
Being beside him, like he's been better at communication, and I'm just trying to help him do everything that I did when I was coming along the whole time, and just keeping him up to date on and up to speed on everything that I know, and just pushing him forward. And he's a great player, and I feel like he's gonna do big things.
Coach, you said that he made a real big jump in that area as far as grasping the playbook and communication this summer. Is that what you kind of saw?
Yeah, most definitely. And I talk to him every day, even if we joking about our weight together, or just having like different kind of battles. But like I just feel like he's becoming a great player and a great person.
What do you want to come out of camp yourself doing better than you've done before?
Really everything. I just want to fix everything that I have mistakes on, and just continue to be better.
Can you take us back to that when you had that accident in training camp, and now how a year later you're still going all out, not worried about getting hurt?
Yeah, I ain't even worried about that. I don't even be trying to think about it. I just keep praying every day before I come out here, and just praying it'll be a great day, and I have a great practice.
Because your coach said it in Nashville, he said you could tell the defense was entirely different when you were on the field.
Yeah, it was a big difference, because I just feel like everybody was happy that I was out there. Everybody just knew that I was going to do what I could do for the team, and it just was a great thing to come back to. Yeah.
There's a couple of new guys, in the secondary that are going to play more this year. A little bit of turnover back there. Have you noticed anything from those guys out here, and how confident are you kind of in that group, those DBs?
I'm very confident in them, because if they're in there, then they obviously can do something back there, and I just feel like they've been doing a great job. I haven't been watching the Indy and the scaling and stuff like that they've been doing, but I just feel like they're doing a great job.
How do you think the guys have kind of progressed in camp the last couple of days? Because the first day seemed like you guys were incredibly far away from being ready to play in a football game. I think those were their words.
No, I think you're mistaking. I said it's hard to judge how far you are from playing in a football game when you haven't yet put on shoulder pads and actually, right?
Yeah.
So that's mischaracterization. No, I mean, it's day 4 camp. Obviously, it's been hot here, right? So guys are getting acclimated to the weather. Obviously, you get to put on pads after 2 days, right? You go full pads next as the next progression, and so it takes a little time to get your body in condition for that, right? Football shape is different than meeting a running test, on report day at camp. It just is. Every football player knows that. So I've appreciated the effort we're given. Right? I think we try to be physical. By all means, we do have a long way to go. We got a lot of ways to improve, but that's probably every team in America right now after day 4.
You got, I know you love competition in camp or spring practice, whenever it is. You love guys pushing each other. I know it's still early in camp. It seems like that back and forth competition at Sam linebacker between JP and John has continued in the early stages of camp, and both those guys pushing each other.
Yeah, those guys come out to work, right? They've done a nice job. Obviously, replacing Tyrus Wheat and obviously all the different hats he wore in our defense the last couple of years is going to be a challenge. But they've certainly come to work, right? And we're throwing everything at them. The thing to keep in mind, too, is they're not just battling each other for that job. They're battling the defensive ends for, are we better off in an odd defense, or are we better off in an even defense, right? I mean, you got to get your best 11 players on the field. So if we can get 4 D linemen who give us more than playing with a Sam linebacker, all right, that's on the table too.
Speaking of competition, I mean, those guys in the secondary, losing a couple of them, headlined by Forbes. What do you think of kind of that group so far through a couple days, and what are you expecting to see from them?
Yeah, first couple of days, obviously you don't have a pass rush, right? Because you can't hit and really rush back. So I was pretty nervous, right? I mean, we got to replace a lot of snaps back there between Forbes and all the amazing things he did, right? But really, I probably didn't sing their praises enough. Colin Duncan and Jalen Green at the safety position. You know, Jackie Matthews. We lost all three safeties who played probably the majority of the reps. You got Sean coming back, he's played a bunch of reps too, so that's good to have some veteran presence there. But yeah, we are inexperienced in the back end, and that is extremely concerning as a coach. You don't sleep very well at night if you're a secondary coach or myself right now, because fast way to lose a game is big plays, explosive plays through the air, right? And so we are having to develop some experience and quality of play in a hurry, because teams are better at throwing and catching the football than ever before in the history of football right now. Right? It's been aired out and spread out all over the field. So we got a young secondary who's going to get challenged early and often.
What kind of advice would you kind of give guys like that, that are, if you're worried about it and wanting them to be, ready in a short period of time? Is there any kind of advice or anything like that you give them?
I take your D-line, I take your pass rush out to dinner every now and then, right? Make sure they're ready to go, because that's probably your best friend as a secondary guy, is a good pass rush.
Sticking on the lines of competition with wide receivers who are maybe borderline starter, borderline backup guys, what are you looking for them to sort of maybe break through that starting wall and crack the starting 11, I guess?
Yeah, well, I think our offensive coaches obviously do a good job of knowing what every guy's strength is, right? And so you can kind of individualize certain plays or schemes for them, Some guys are better point of attack, right, and create movement in the run game. Other guys maybe more backside cutoff. Some guys give you more in certain areas of the pass game than others, right? And so, obviously competition, if you got a well-rounded guy, it makes it great, right? We got a couple well-rounded guys, but everyone's got their strengths and weaknesses, and so we're figuring out that. And I would repeat the same thing that I said about the same linebackers. All those tight ends are under the same challenge. Well, they're competing with either the fourth receiver or maybe a second running back in the game, right? I mean, if you're best with 4 wideouts on the game going 10 personnel, you're going to do that. If you're best in 20 personnel and putting a second running back, right, you can run all those same run schemes with another running back and get to the same pass concepts. So that's the challenge in front of all of us as coaches right now. You're 4 days in. You can't make final decisions about who your best 11 are, but every day you get a little bit more info and a little bit more film to make that evaluation. We're trying to figure out who the best personnel is on the field to give us the best chance to win.
Along those lines, at wide receiver, Freddie Roberson got here last month, and obviously he's played a lot of college snaps, but how is he adapting to this level so far?
Oh, he's doing good. Yeah, I mean, he's doing well. I had a little bit of I think he got stepped on his toe or something yesterday that I think probably most guys would have happily took today off, and he ran out there and said, "No, coach, I'm going." So you certainly appreciate that. You like tough guys in a receiver room. I think our wideout group's done a good job in general of running routes hard, getting out of their breaks, and then obviously trying to be a factor in the blocking in the run game too. So that's been good.
What's it like to have been having Jaden Wally? But he's been around a long time. His leadership, his seen probably every coverage you could see. Just talk about his.
Yeah, he's done a good job. It seems like every rep I've seen him in, it seems like he's given everything he's got on that particular play, which is easy for some guys to start to sacrifice that effort a little bit at this point in camp, right? It's been hot, it's humid, you're tired, your body's sore. It's easy to kind of just give 85% on a rep, but he seems to always be giving 100%. He's played a lot of football. I mean, obviously he's going to be a huge factor in what we do offensively.
You obviously have the strong ties to the 3-3-5, but you've mentioned a lot even today about maybe playing some 4-man front and things like that. And Coach Turner's talked about that too. When did that become kind of a strong topic of conversation for y'all defensively?
Oh, I've talked about that every year I've been here. As if it's the best option, we'll do it. Now we've happened to have Tyrus Wheat the last couple of years, and so it's played to our strengths to have 3 linebackers on the field. I didn't get the chance to be here in 2018, but I guarantee you I would have been a 4 down guy that year if I had those D linemen. So yeah.
Speaking of that too, the linebackers. I mean, you've been a big part too of building that group and a lot of talented guys that are a little bit younger. I mean, what's your thoughts on the guys underneath the Bookies and Jet Johnsons and JP and guys like that?
I think they have a great opportunity to look at the guys who are older than them, who are playing the majority of snaps, and see what it takes physically, mentally, everything to get yourself prepared to play at this level and in this league. Physically what you have to do. You got to be big enough, you got to be strong enough, you got to be fast enough, And then if you're a linebacker, you're involved in the front, you're involved in the coverage, obviously all the different blitz packages, right? So that takes a lot of preparation, a lot of stuff just outside the practice field. And right now, those guys have an opportunity to learn from two vets who can mentor them and show them exactly what needs to be done. It's just whether they decide to take that opportunity or not.
When you talk about those day-to-day adjustments from what you see on film and in practice each day, with how you process that as a coach, has that changed compared from when you were a defensive coordinator to head coach, or is this sort of the same, I guess, strategy to handle that way?
Well, I'm involved on the defensive talk still some. So, I mean, some of this stuff is schematic, right? We talk, the offense ran this play and it torched us, right? We got to find a way to account for that. That's kind of normal, everyday, just football X and O's. Obviously, now I have to evaluate how we look as a team, right? Are we getting enough reps? Did we maybe push them a little too far? And it looks like our quality of work's, dropped off a little bit. So, you have to make those decisions, obviously, too. So I'm doing more of that now than I did the last couple of years, right? Someone else got to make those decisions. But, yeah, it's exciting. It's fun to do.
How are you and the staff
Like
right?
Spivey?
How are you and the staff right now divvying up the snaps, getting your veterans the work, but also developing the new guys as well at this stage of camp?
Yeah, the meat and potatoes of practices, and you're kind of you're too deep, and obviously those top level 3 guys who are going to be part of the rotation, right? So, and then some days we cut the vets out of here a little early, and then keep the younger guys for development. Obviously, you can structure walkthroughs where you get more time with the young guys, so we kind of do that.
How has Spivey kind of fit in so far with the offense and everything?
No, Spivey's done good. He's one of them guys, right? He's obviously big enough and strong enough to do some things for you blocking wise, right? And yeah, he's got enough athleticism to run some routes, and obviously really good blocking out on the perimeter for screens. You throw a screen out to Tulu and you got Spivey covering up a DB. That's a pretty good guy who's 6'5", covering up most teams nickels or safeties are anywhere probably 5'11" to 6'1" type bodies in there, right? So you have a size advantage there in the blocking, so that's been good.
He's played in a ton of big games. I mean, national championship game. I mean, so he kind of knows.
Some people would characterize it as that, yeah.
he's played massive games in his career, so he knows what it takes to get there. Like, is that something that could pay dividends for this team, and how kind of big do you think that could be? A guy that's had that experience.
I think age and experience always pays dividends, right? I mean, you do not want to be running out with a whole bunch of true freshmen and redshirt freshmen playing a whole bunch of snaps for you. That's a recipe for disaster. I can't speak to college basketball, right? It's probably a different formula there. I know about the Fab 5, but I never heard about the Fab 11 in college football, right? That's not a – you want age and experience and guys who have been through it, because physical maturity matters a lot. It matters in basketball, too. Basketball coaches don't take it against me, Coach Jans, but, right, the closer you get to the line of scrimmage, the more physical, age, experience, all of that matters. Manuel Force come out, plays a true freshman at the corner, right? It's physical out there to a degree, but not nearly as physical as lining up as a freshman D lineman when you got 650 pounds double teaming you, right? So that was a long-winded answer, but yeah, I would prefer to be older and more experienced.
Finally get a chance to get Isaac Smith out there.
You ain't capping this, Brandon.
Finally get a chance. Can I ask a question? Okay.
Last one.
You finally get a chance to see Isaac Smith out there, miss the spring, obviously. I mean, how is he kind of taking that transition from working in the pit every day during the spring and in the weight room to getting out there on the practice field?
He's done a very good job of approaching it. I mean, the guy's a worker, right? It's fun to see out there. I mean, I anticipate he's going to have to play snaps for us, right? Either special teams, on defense. I mean, it is why we recruited him. But it's kind of follow-up to that last little rant I just went on, right? Isaac, I mean, he was Mr. Football, I think, in his classification, right, here in the state. Now he's being exposed to another level of speed of the game and different ways they attack you as a DB, right? And so that's a learning process, right? It's the best thing for you as a player, because as you increase competition, it forces you, it puts pressure on you, which forces you to adapt and improve. So it's great for his development. I worry that he may be out there and that route might be running by future first-round draft pick, and a lot of times the best teacher in life is failure, right? And certainly as a DB. So, I mean, that's part of it too now. There's gonna be some growing pains with some of these young guys.